Hey, Coach Jerry here with Love Vintage Hoops. Please, if you love the content, please do us a huge favor and don't hesitate to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. We're going to have a lot of new content coming up, so we would love the support. Thank you.
Next, from the U.S. Airways Center here in downtown Phoenix, welcome in everybody. Kevin Ray alongside Katie Christensen, and delighted you're going to be with us for this Friday night Clash of the Titans. And Katie, the stage is set. Will Lisa Leslie be playing in her final game, or will we be back here tomorrow night for Game 3?
Well, you have to expect that LA is going to come out back after that loss in LA and be very prepared and make the changes that they saw fit. So this should be a very high-paced, exciting game tonight.
Tangela Smith and Candace Parker jumping it up at the center circle. Phoenix in the home white, Los Angeles in the road gold. Noelle Quinn, Tina Thompson, Lisa Leslie, Delisha Milton Jones, Candace Parker, the starting five for the Los Angeles Sparks as Quinn goes to work inside on the smaller Johnson. Cappie Pondexter clears, and Phoenix looking to run and pick up the pace, and they have certainly done that to the postseason. 3 straight 100-point scoring efforts.
Exactly, and you see LA right away went down low to Quinn, mismatched with Tamika Johnson. They're going to try and establish themselves down low very early.
A deep three from Taurasi. You can hardly blame her for seeing if the luck continued from Paulie Pavilion, where she was on fire just a couple of nights ago in Game 1, scoring a game-high 28.
A heat check carried over for Wednesday night. You're right about that.
Here's Parker. Nice job of the double team there by Willingham and Johnson. They reverse the ball. Shot from Quinn up, no good. Rebound attempt there by Taurasi, and it tapped out of bounds. It'll belong to Los Angeles. Quick check at the starting five for Phoenix. Nothing has changed there. Tamika Johnson, Cappie Pondexter, Dinah Taurasi, Liko Willingham, and Tangela Smith.
And Kevin, you saw right there that is one of the changes that will be made by the Mercury. You don't expect many because of how they played on Wednesday, but they are going to double Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie down low, coming from the point guard. Milton Jones getting the mismatch there on the smaller Pondexter, and Milton Jones breaks the deadlock. First score of the game, 2-0 LA. Here's Taurasi, those long arms of Milton Jones trying to wreak havoc. And Tamika Johnson, a former Los Angeles Spark, has had such a terrific first year here in Phoenix. Pondexter on the drive, had it knocked off her leg by Milton Jones. And so the turnover gives it back to Los Angeles. Well, and so far to start the game, Phoenix is doing something that they don't usually do. You don't see them very stagnant hardly ever in their offense, but when they do get set up in the half court, which they have the first couple possessions, they do tend to get a little stagnant down low. That'll change with a couple steals or rebounds. Milton Jones again inside. Can't get the point-blank shot, and Thompson trying to clear the offensive rebound, taps it out of bounds, so they have quickly identified a mismatch there in that defense from Phoenix and going into Milton Jones. Well, and LA is so tall, so much bigger than the Mercury, that there's going to be several mismatches out there, so it's just going to be a rotation for the Phoenix Mercury's defense. Here's Taurasi working up the screen, flips it inside quickly to Willingham, got some contact, and a late whistle coming from the outside official. And our officiating crew tonight, Darrell Humphrey, June Corto, and Roy Gobayan. Foul charged against Candace Parker. Kevin, this is something that the Phoenix kind of live or die by. Their free throw percentage has been so good for them all year long. Actually, the best of any team, women or men, since 1985. The Boston Celtics 1985 team, and they eclipsed it, and they live at the free throw line. So if they get to the free throw line, that's going to be very helpful for them here tonight. Number one in all the big offensive categories: scoring, field goal percentage, three-point shooting, and that three-point shooting certainly helped carry them to that 103-94 victory in Game 1. And that's something LA doesn't do very well, is shoot the long ball. So that is a very big difference between their two offenses. Parker trying to get inside and manages to do so. Well, she can break you down so many different ways, as she did that time against Willingham for Phoenix. Very talented down low, but she does have a mismatch on Willingham, so you'll see her on the post a lot. Good inside-out movement that time for Phoenix as Willingham inside, saw the double team coming, kicked it back out to Tangela Smith, who's got such a soft touch. Tied at 4 here. Opening quarter, LA trying to force a make or break Game 3 tomorrow.
Leslie just inside the three-point arc and knocks down a long jumper.
And in the closing minutes of that game in LA, she hit a couple very big shots that were from deep, and that's normally not her range. She can shoot the three. Doesn't take a lot of them. As you see, they're going to call Tangela there for a moving screen. But Lisa is one of those, as we mentioned, this could be her last game of her career. You have to expect and come out on her that far because she's going to take those open looks because she's very confident right now.
19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. The loss certainly couldn't be shouldered by the big three. They came through with the numbers you would expect as Tina Thompson with a playoff career high as Milton Jones finds herself wide open beyond the arc. Won't go. Thompson on the offensive rebound. Kicks it inside to Leslie. And now we'll have a loose ball foul called inside as Willingham appeared to lose her balance and came over the back of Milton Jones, and Willingham picking up the foul.
Kevin, one of the biggest differences from that game on Wednesday where Phoenix did a much better job is they had 29 points coming off the bench, and LA has shortened their bench in the playoffs, only had 4 points, and that was by one person, Betty Lennox. So Phoenix has a definite plus on that category.
Big ball reversal here. Parker, wide open left wing, knocks down the little 17-footer. Parker with another big night in game one. Here's Pondexter at 15. Kicks it into the near corner. Now they find Taurasi wide open. Three-pointer rims out as Leslie leans inside and pulls away the defensive board.
And you saw in that shot what Phoenix is very inconsistent with their effort going to the board. You saw Diana take that shot, and there was only one player in the paint, and that's Nicole Willingham, and she's undersized down there. They need to make a concerted effort to get to the boards.
Leslie inside a three-point stripe again, and she's suddenly turned in to a long-range shooter.
Like I said, when it's your last game staring at you in the face, you have to expect that she's going to hit all those shots.
Now, you also had to expect LA to come out in a surly mood, and that's exactly what they've done. Is Pondexter, the right wing jumper, too strong. Karam's high over the top of the backboard. Had LA with the basketball and a 10-4 lead here.
Well, and one of the things that Phoenix has done well so far in the playoffs is to come out strong in the first quarter and shoot well from the floor. And right now, they're not making shots. They're getting the shots that they want, open shots. They're just not knocking them down. So with this offense, it's an ebb and flow. They're going to shoot poorly, then they're going to come out on fire. So you can't ever count them out.
A 1 of 4 start here in the early going as Leslie spins inside, lost the handle. Parker cleans it up, gets the offensive putback, and Tangela Smith with a foul over the back. She will pick up her second personal. And Coach Corey Gaines looking on at his veteran. With 5:32 to play here in this opening quarter, it looks like he'll stand pat right now.
Well, and the tempo right now is much more in favor of LA. They've done a very good job at slowing the Mercury down and making Phoenix really be a half-court team, which they aren't. And there's been a lot of fouls called early on, too, which is another thing that the Mercury do not like because it slows the tempo of the game down.
Parker completing the three-point play, and it's a 13-4 advantage for Los Angeles. Their biggest lead in game one was 2. As the ball lost out of bounds, but belongs to Phoenix. Pondexter swinging it way outside to Tamika Johnson. On a crossover, got past Parker. Pretty play, but couldn't get the finish. Up into the front court comes Quinn and Thompson. Right to Leslie they go. Quick turn inside off the window. And it's an 11-point advantage here for LA.
Lisa worked on that move going into the game. She was out here before the game started working on that exact same move, catching it, spinning baseline. She uses her body so well. Feels, doesn't have to look. They need to be very careful about the trap has to come from the high side. So Tangela there needs to be on the baseline side so that the trap can come.
Early substitutions coming in here is Dewanna Bonner, the 6th woman of the year, checks in along with Nicole Oldie as Tangela Smith and Nicole Willingham sit down. Cappie Pondexter at the line. Shooting a pair. Phoenix shooting just 20% from the field, while Los Angeles red hot at 58%. 7 points already for Candace Parker, coming off that 28-10 outing in game one.
Well, I think one of the reasons for the substitution right now, foul trouble part of it, but also when he brings in Dewanna Bonner, Corey Gaines likes the spark that she brings off the bench. And she only had 4 points in the first game on Wednesday, and she's normally very consistent from points. But what you can always rely on is her spark off the bench.
Her and Penny Taylor had both been averaging in double figures, just about her season average, just over 11 for Bonner here in the first postseason run for the rookie out of Auburn. Thompson on the drive was stripped there by Tamika Johnson. Thompson wanting the foul, won't get the call. We will get the call for timeout. 4:52 to play here in the opening quarter. LA in a must-win situation. They're playing like it right now with a 15-6 lead. You're watching the 2009 WNBA playoffs on NBA TV and WNBA.com. Expect great. 15-6 our score here. Los Angeles leading the Phoenix Mercury, Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Well, Saturday on NBA TV, it's Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Detroit Shock and the Indiana Fever. The winner goes to the WNBA Finals. All the action beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern. And, of course, if we have a Game 3 here in Phoenix, we'll be playing and tipping it off at 10 p.m. Eastern here on NBA TV. Los Angeles basketball out of the timeout. Working again inside to Lisa Leslie. Leslie spins, baseline turnaround, and right now LA hitting everything they put up. 17-6 advantage here.
Phoenix really needs to have an answer for their inside play. All of their points are coming in the paint other than the 2 shots by Lisa Leslie Long.
And a nice job of staying with it by Dinah Taurasi, who tried to dump it off, had it blocked right back into her hands. And she quickly put it up and in to trim the lead for LA to 9. Thompson looking for the 3, and Tina Thompson has long distance range and then some. It was Thompson with a career playoff high 25 in Game 1. That gives them a 20-8 advantage. Nicole Oldie, great baseline shot there. Terrific concentration off the pretty feed from Tamika Johnson.
I think one of the most important things for Phoenix to focus on right now is to get into the paint, because like I said, they get so many of their points a game from the free throw line. If they're not getting in the paint, if they're settling for long shots, when they're not falling, they're not going to be able to make a run and come back on LA right now, who's up 10.
So Oldie will go to the line. Played just over 10 minutes in that Game 1 victory as Candace Parker trying to save it and unable to do so. So that always helps the cause as Phoenix will get an extra offensive opportunity here. Fresh 24 on the shot clock, trailing 20-10. Here's Taylor, takes it across the paint. Looks like Parker may have gotten a piece of that one.
Here right now, Corey Gaines is calling Rover. He's going to go into this frequently because LA does not have a good outside shooting threat. But that's the problem. You got to be inside to help out.
Oldie trying to fight and tip it to her teammate Keisha Soigné. And while Phoenix was beaten on the glass in Game 1, what was it they did so effectively despite that rebounding advantage for Los Angeles, 40-26?
Yeah, they were out-rebounded by 14. I think the one thing that Phoenix did very well is if you look at their assist-to-turnover ratio, they had 23 assists to only 10 turnovers. And if you can keep that like that, you have a chance to come out of a thing like being out-rebounded by 14.
Long rebound goes out to Thompson, so they'll reset. Find Parker up high. Parker going to work on the rookie. Gets inside on the follow. Shot blocked. Let's see what's going to be called on, because it certainly looked like Taurasi got the clean block, and the foul will be charged against the rookie, Dewanna Bonner.
She did a very good job of actually pulling back, and even though Candace Parker was going in for contact, she kind of pulled away, which helped make her miss that shot. But what she needs to do is as soon as that shot is released, she needs to get into her body and box her out. You can't rely on being under the basket and getting that rebound.
Bill Parker, who led the league in double-doubles this year with 15, also led the league in blocks and rebounds, and did that in the course of about half a season.
Yeah, you know, her first few games back, when she came back from maternity leave after having her daughter, were, you know, kind of suspect. You could tell that she wasn't in playing shape yet, that it's not even just about being in shape, it's about your timing and being comfortable with the people on the court. But she quickly picked that up and had a great half season.
Well, in between her return and Lisa Leslie getting healthy, that had a lot to do with Los Angeles getting into the playoff mix. Taurasi on the tough runner, Milton Jones with a little nudge. Taurasi looking at the foul call, won't get it. Here's Quinn on the release as LA comes down the floor and beats Phoenix at their own game. And they've stretched this lead now to 14 at 24-10. Taylor on the drive, lost the handle. Calling for it down low is the rookie Bonner, but the veteran Jones steps right around her. So LA has certainly cranked up the defensive pressure here in game 2. Lennox finds Thompson on the baseline. Had it blocked by Bonner, but then on the follow, should be fouled by Keisha Soignier. Well, right now, LA getting the loose balls, doing all the little things that teams have to do to win games.
They have come out tonight, and on both ends of the court, they have been the aggressor. And in game 1 in LA, something Phoenix did well is every time LA made a run, they responded to it. So far, because they're not shooting well from long, they're not getting a lot of calls inside, they're not able to make that quick comeback like they did in game 1. But again, it's early. It's with a team like Phoenix and an offense like theirs, highest scoring offense in the league, you can't ever count them out. They can come back very quickly. A couple possessions, they can be back in the game.
Thompson knocking down the first, and what a career Tina Thompson has had. That 4-time WNBA champion Houston Comets. 8-time All-WNBA performer. And has been to the postseason 10 of the 13 years of her career.
4-time Olympian, I want to say. Yeah, she's got some accolades.
Here's Taylor facing up against Candace Parker. Nice spin move inside, but can't get the shot to go down. And the shooting struggles continue for the most prolific scoring team in league history. Phoenix shooting just 30%. Milton Jones finding Thompson all alone on the baseline. A rare wide open miss. Parker leaping high, using that great length. Can't get the follow though, and Dewanna Bonner, the long arm rookie, comes away with it for Phoenix. Up ahead to Taurasi. Driving hard to the basket. And Taurasi with a high percentage finish there.
Again, you're going to see Phoenix in this rover. The most difficult thing to do out of this rover zone defense is rebound. So when the shot goes up, they need to all turn around and make sure they get a body on somebody.
Quinn on the drive across, lost the handle, into the hands of Soignier. Soignier bobbling it for a moment, so she'll wisely hang on and wait until she's got the right numbers. How about that number? Number 3 from downtown Phoenix is Taurasi with a long-range bomb and cuts the lead to 11 at 26-15. She's got 7, and Michael Cooper will call a timeout. Phoenix beginning to show signs of life. Right here, first quarter action. We'll step aside for a timeout. 1:16 to play. Game 2. Los Angeles leading 26-15. You're watching the 2009 WNBA playoffs on NBA TV and WNBA.com. Expect great. 26-15 our score here from the U.S. Airways Center in downtown Phoenix. Kevin Ray, Katie Christensen with you tonight. A must-win game for the Los Angeles Sparks. Phoenix, on the other hand, trying to advance to the WNBA Finals for the second time in 3 seasons, third time overall. But right now, LA playing with that sense of urgency that you would have expected.
Yeah, and one of the statistical categories that you can look at right now, and it just shows the urgency that they're playing with, is the rebounding category. They are out-rebounding Phoenix right now 12-2. Phoenix really needs to get active inside, make sure they're sending everyone to the basket on both ends of the court. They need to get on the boards offensively especially.
Now out of that timeout, Coach Michael Cooper will bring in the veteran out of Australia, Christy Hareworth, to try and settle things down a little bit for his club. As Leslie getting tangled up inside with Nicole Oldie, and the offensive foul called on the veteran Leslie. Oldie spinning around, expecting the foul to be charged against her, but Daryl Humphrey says nope. Number 9. 26-15. LA with the lead.
And now LA has dropped back into a zone. They could do this right now because Phoenix is not shooting very well from the floor.
Here's Soignier on the drive, pull-up pass, tapped away. Milton Jones with those long arms. 3 on the shot clock. Pondexter got the shot up, and then it returned to center by Lisa Leslie. Big block. Leslie trails inside. Follow lane good.
One of the things you need to do offensively against a zone, especially a zone that has players as big as LA's, especially up top, like Delisha Milton you saw up there, you need to use ball fakes, and you need to penetrate and kick and skip.
Taylor looking for the long 3. Karam's high. Tapped out. Last touched by Tina Thompson. Phoenix basketball 22 here on the game clock. A 28-15 Los Angeles lead.
You're getting a lot of looks from the players to the officials wondering where the calls are. Well, this is the playoffs. You're not going to get a lot of these calls that you get during the regular season. You just have to play tough and strong.
Boy, an easy lay-in there for the rookie Dewanna Bonner. Everybody seemed to be focusing on Cappie Pondexter. And the defense fell asleep, and Bonner taking advantage. Now LA will work the final shot of the quarter. And it's been a good opening quarter for the visitors. Here's Hareworth. 2 seconds. Thompson gets inside, gets the shot and the foul.
Saw Corey Gaines all the way up at half court, practically telling Keisha Soignier that he wanted her up on Hareworth right there, expecting it. Seconds counting down like that, you're going to have a high pick and roll. But what you need to have is the help side there ready for Tina.
Well, Hareworth doesn't put up big numbers, but, you know, she's what a lot of players and coaches will call a glue player. Really kind of helps sets the table out there. A 3-time Olympian with the Australian national team. As Thompson completing the 3-point play. And 0.8 of a second all. No shot to close out the quarter for Phoenix. And a big opening quarter for the Los Angeles Sparks in a must-win game. And they're playing like it. 31-17, our score at the end of one. Here in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. You're watching the 2009 WNBA playoffs on NBA TV and WNBA.com. Expect great.
End of the first quarter between the Sparks and the Mercury. Sparks got that 14-point lead going into the second quarter. Candace Parker, I think this was her second year in the league, and Lisa Leslie came out going to them early. Diana Taurasi, Cappie Pondexter got off to a slow start, but the star power was really, really big back then, man. So be interesting to see how things turn out in the second quarter.
Katie Christensen with you. We're not sure if there'll be a Game 3 here tomorrow night, but we do know there will be a Game 3 in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's right, Saturday here on NBA TV. Game 3, as the Shock and Fever will play for the right to go to the WNBA Finals. All the action beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if we do have a Game 3 here in Phoenix, we'll play 10 p.m. Eastern here on NBA TV. Well, a solid opening quarter of play here for Los Angeles, who, for the last few years, has not been a good road playoff team, Katie.
Not necessarily, and I think, again, it's one of these things in the playoffs, you have to expect that a team that has their back to the wall is going to come out and be prepared. They took 10 more shot attempts in the first quarter than Phoenix, which is completely unusual, and out-rebounded them by 11.
But those are the kind of shots you've got to make, whether you're a rookie or not. Dewanna Bonner, point-blank range, and could not knock it down. Trying to cut into this 14-point Los Angeles lead. Lisa Leslie, strong start. Nice bounce pass feed. Hareworth inside to Parker, who again going right at this Phoenix defense. Parker already 11 points and 5 rebounds. Here's Tangela Smith on the pump fake and a travel. That will be their 4th of the game as Laco Willingham will check back in here for the rookie Dewanna Bonner.
Tangela hit a couple big threes in that game on Wednesday, so you see that they're flying out at her. She has to be prepared. She has to be ready, keep her feet steady. She could have even drawn the foul there.
Leslie looking inside for Thompson, matched up defensively against Taurasi. Thompson can't get the first. Taurasi just rips it away on the offensive rebound. Thompson flat on her back. Taurasi with 7 points. Now Parker steps out defensively on her. Goes to work, gets the contact foul outside. No continuation, says June Corto, but the foul charged against Parker. And that will be number 2 on Candace Parker.
That's exactly what the Mercury want right there. If you get Candace Parker guarding Dewanna Taurasi, you want to isolate her on the side, let her work that entire side, because no matter how great of a defender Candace Parker is, Dewanna Taurasi is a tough defensive matchup for anybody.
Miggy Johnson back now to Tangela Smith. Not seeing the ball movement, the ball reversal is Johnson with a tough pull-up in the paint that we saw in game 1 for Phoenix.
Well, one of the things that they've always done so well is no matter who has the ball in their hands, Phoenix does a good job of staying active within the offense. They're doing a lot of standing tonight. They're in the half-court set. I don't know if it's because LA's playing them in a zone. Sometimes that makes your offense stagnant, but they need to figure it out quickly.
Parker with a wild runner, well defended that time by Willingham. Here comes Phoenix on the run. Pull up from Johnson. Rims out no good, and the cold shooting continues for Phoenix at 33% now, just 6 of 18, and being worked over on the glass at 16-4 in favor of LA. Here's Harrower on the drive. No help defense there for Phoenix as she blew right past Johnson, who clearly was expecting some.
That's Nicole Willingham's help side defensive position. She needed to be there. She knows that they're going to run that high pick and roll and that there's going to be a lane. She needs to step over and occupy that space.
And now we'll have an offensive foul called here on Cappie Pondexter. Los Angeles looking like a very confident club right now. Here in this first half, leading 35-17. Michael Cooper, I don't believe, has sat down this entire game.
Well, Michael Cooper made some very lofty, statements to the media, guaranteeing wins, and that's a tough thing to do in the playoffs. And so, this whole team, coaching staff included, has a lot to prove tonight.
Tina Thompson with a long 3. Taurasi to Smith trailing. Smith got the soft roll, goes down. Phoenix with a lot of work to do. Betty Lennox can't get the shot. Loose ball foul called inside. And that will be charged against Laco Willingham. That'll be 2 on the veteran Willingham. Thought she had the position against Lisa Leslie.
Looked like it from our angle a little bit, maybe a little bit.
7:19 to play here in this second quarter, as Delisha Milton Jones getting ready to check back in for the Sparks. Lennox, quick look inside to Leslie. Leslie wasting no time, going right to work. 12 points for Lisa Leslie.
11!
Here's Johnson on a hard drive against Quinn. Looking for the contact. No call. Quinn quickly up ahead to Lennox. Lennox with the drive to the basket. And a good, strong play there from Betty Lennox.
A lot of people sitting at home right now are probably wondering why Corey Gaines is not calling a timeout. It's a very different thing in this system. You don't call timeouts. It takes away your tempo. It doesn't matter if you're missing shots. He's not going to call a timeout even when there's a huge run like this, because he wants his team to play through it and eventually hope that in the second half of the game you're going to wear LA down.
Well, Los Angeles had a big double-digit lead in the game there in Staples Center earlier this summer. And Phoenix managed to rally for the win. And it'll be Phoenix basketball as Delisha Milton Jones said it went off the leg of Willingham. 13 on the shot clock, 6:37 here on the game clock. A 39-19 lead for the Sparks, trying to force a game 3 tomorrow night. Here's Pondexter trying to get on track. Quick pull up in the paint. That might do it. Her first field goal of the night.
That's exactly what Phoenix needs to do. They need to work hard, get in the paint, get some penetration. The shots aren't going to come easy, but you still need to be aggressive on the offensive end.
Leslie inside, and an easy follow for Candace Parker. Lead back to 20. Taurasi on the drive. Cut off there by Parker. Outside, wide open. Penny Taylor for 3. No good. Phoenix with 14 trays in game 1 on Wednesday night. Just 1 of 6 here in this first half, as Candace Parker looks like she's dealing with a contact problem. And we'll get a timeout called as they deal with that. Full timeout, 5:56 to play here in the second quarter. All LA right now here in the desert. 41-21 our score. You're watching the 2009 WNBA playoffs on NBA TV and WNBA.com. Expect great. (41-21) our score. 5:56 to play here in the second quarter. It's game 2, must win for the LA Sparks, who lost on their neutral home floor, if you will. Pauley Pavilion being forced out of the Staples Center due to a concert.
Britney Spears, I believe.
I believe that is correct. But right now it's LA who's making all the music here, shooting 49% from the field. They've limited the top scoring team to just 21 points, 35% shooting, but the work on the glass is really making a huge impact.
They have a 19-5 advantage right now on the glass, and 14 points, second chance points, and points in the paint. They're just being the aggressor on both ends of the court right now. Phoenix is definitely on their heels.
Milton Jones couldn't get the 3, but the bad carom going off of Laco Willingham's shoulder. But LA unable to capitalize on that offensive trip. So back comes Phoenix. Dewanna Taurasi with 7 points. Taylor on the drive and dish to Willingham. Nice pump fake, gets inside. But rolls off the back of the iron, and that's the way the shooting is gone for this top shooting team in the WNBA. Lennox, quick pull up off the glass, no good. Taurasi battling inside with a rebound. Taylor all alone, back to Taurasi, who will take a look at the 3. Knock it down.
Exactly what Phoenix needs to do. You saw that rebound by Diana on the defensive end of the court, led to a 3 on the other end of the court. It's picking up the pace. They just need to chip away at this lead slowly but surely.
Well, and because they are a veteran team, you're not going to see them panic as Lennox just throws it away into the hands of Cappie Pondexter. Pondexter on the drive to the basket. She'll be fouled by Noelle Quinn. And this is one time that Corey Gaines won't mind the clock stopping. Save a little time. You get Pondexter at the line to shoot 2. He can make a substitution here.
Well, going back to what you said about not seeing them panic, I think maybe a lot of people right now would expect both to see more timeouts, but also to see the players on the court feel a little bit more panicked. But you're not going to see it. This is a veteran team. They have a lot of playoff experience on this team, Tangela Smith being one of them. But they know the system. They've been in these situations before where they've gotten down big and been able to come back. What they need to do is just get back to what they do well. They need to rebound the basketball. It's going to lead to points in the fast break and open shots for them on the offensive end of the court.
Pondexter already exceeding her free throws from game 1. She's 3 of 3 tonight. She was just 2 of 2 in game 1 in that 15-point effort. You talked about playoff experience. Los Angeles with 183 playoff games collectively between them. For Phoenix, 105.
Yeah, you're not going to see either team panic. And so this is a bunch of veterans that have been in this situation a ton before, and this is going to be a long physical game tonight.
Here's Thompson working baseline left. Pull up won't go. Smith clears it for Phoenix. Taurasi, quick look ahead, finding Taylor. And Taylor giving up her dribble now, has to hand to Smith. Pondexter, long 2, foot on the line, says Roy Gilbayan, but Candace Parker couldn't have defended any better. Approaching the 4-minute mark here. Leslie calls for it. Gets an elbow over to the face of Taurasi. Long 3 from Quinn off the mark. And Lisa Leslie and Dewanna Taurasi continued their exchange after Taurasi took exception to a high elbow on Leslie's spin into the lane, and we're going to get a double foul call.
Lisa Leslie just did a very veteran move. When Dewanna Taurasi tried to get by her, she simply took her right arm and wrapped it in under the armpit of Dewanna Taurasi. So as soon as Taurasi goes to pull her arm back, it definitely looks like a double foul. Very veteran move right there. But things, like I said, are going to be very, very physical down in the paint, and they're not calling a lot of fouls.
Well, they may be friends when they're wearing that USA red, white, and blue, but right now they are adversaries and playing like it. Taurasi looking for the quick three. Karam's out. There's Milton Jones up in her face. Milton Jones getting behind that defense, but Quinn unable to find her. 41-27. And Milton Jones, who wanted to shoot the three, and as she was going up, changed her mind. And not a play you'll see the veteran Milton Jones make too often, the veteran out of Florida.
Right now, walking back down to the defensive end of the court, Candace Parker pulled Lisa Leslie's side and told her she needs to calm down and focus. That's something that you don't see coming from a second-year player very often.
Here's Taurasi off the Bonner screen, finds Taylor, driving hard to the basket. Taylor, great concentration, got the finish. And they've trimmed the lead to 12, which at one time was 20. Leslie calls for it. Taurasi trying to drop down to help defense. Parker, though, all alone, but well, June Corto was ready to call a travel outside, but Roy Gobayan saw a hold inside. The foul came before the shot, so non-shooting.
Phoenix is going to have a very difficult time in the paint tonight if they allow Lisa Leslie to get deep position like that and then try to go trap her, because if you try to trap that deep in the lane, all they're going to do is send exactly like they did right there, Candace Parker cutting right down the lane, and that's very difficult to defend.
Parker backing down now against Taurasi. Speaking of difficult to defend, little left-hand jump hook, that is nearly undefendable. 43-29, here's Taylor. Inside, bounce pass, Bonner, second time tonight. Bonner has been right at the cup. And the rookie just going too strong to the glass. Leslie, fade away, that little flip of the wrist, and she's got 14. Closing in on the 2-minute mark. Taurasi looks for the long three and finds the shooter's touch from way outside. And Taurasi with 13, the only Phoenix scorer in double figures.
Diana did a very good job, but one of the things there in that offense, if she didn't hit that shot, their offense was completely stagnant. They really need to try and pick it up, get some motion, and get some more open shots like the one that Dewanna Bonner missed the possession before. And
that's as open as you can get for LA as Quinn drove the baseline. No help down defensively for Phoenix. And LA capitalizing, 47-32. Taylor on the crossover, goes to work on Parker. Bonner won't miss this one as Taylor with a pretty feed.
Well, and that's such a great thing to see because Penny looks for her all the time. So it's great to see that even despite the fact she missed a couple right at the basket, that she still has the confidence to go to her rookie.
Foul called on Bonner. That will stop the clock at 1:18, and that veteran move again coming from Lisa Leslie.
That is one of the toughest things to defend because it does not matter if you are on the defensive end of the court when that hook happens. It's always going to look like you initiated it. And again, a veteran player has a lot of experience in the playoffs. Dewanna Bonner, a rookie. She got her on that one.
1:18 to play, opening quarter. Los Angeles with a lead, 47-34. You're watching the 2009 WNBA playoffs on NBA TV and WNBA.com. Expect great.
Important right now is for Phoenix to really try to start to control the tempo. You're not going to come back from being down on the boards like this, but they need to, from this point on, make sure that they make a concerted effort to go to the boards because as you see, when they do get the defensive rebound, it fuels their fast break. That's when they're hitting threes. That's when they're getting Penny into the paint, penetrating Cappie going in for her one dribble pull-ups. That is their style of play. They very much improved on the boards this year. They were 5th in the league in rebounding. The year before, it was a totally different story. So again, if they can get on the rebounds, get on the boards, it's going to fuel their fast break.
Well, I go back to game one when it was still a tight contest, and Phoenix had that 7-0 run to close out the half. And that really was a huge momentum swing. As Quinn trying to go to work on Tamika Johnson, draws the double team, 2 on the shot clock, and now Quinn tied up between Pondexter and Tamika Johnson with 2 on the shot clock, 104.
It's great court awareness by Cappie because they're really only supposed to be double teaming Lisa and Candace in the low post. But she saw Tamika Johnson's down there. LA's making it a point to take advantage of mismatches. Cappie went jump ball situation.
Players trying to get positioned. Quinn claiming that tip. Quick look outside. Shot no good. Rebound Pondexter up ahead, trying to get it to Taurasi. But the long arms of Delisha Milton Jones preventing the pass from coming through. And another turnover. Phoenix, their 6th of the game. And here's Quinn trying to shake the defender Johnson. And boy, it was Quinn who extended that elbow, but Johnson will pick up the foul call. That will be the 2nd on Tamika Johnson. You know, and going back in the regular season, Tamika Johnson played so well against her former club. Right now, 0 for 4 from the field and has just 1 assist.
Well, and she's the pass up the court. You need to be very careful. What Phoenix did a couple times in the game on Wednesday is they had some careless turnovers. And people always wonder about, is there any good turnover? Yes, there are good turnovers where you're being aggressive, but when you fumble a pass between a couple people, pass it in between 2 people and the other team comes up with it. LA scored a couple layoffs off that on Wednesday. This is something that Tamika just needs to calm down, control the tempo of the game, make the easy pass, make sure because of the long arms of LA that she's using shot fake. She's had a couple turnovers tonight just off of trying to pass over somebody.
Boy, that was a costly sequence right there, Katie, because Pondexter looking to get the ball to Taurasi, couldn't do it. They turned it over, comes down. Johnson picks up 1 foul. That was her 2nd, and then right back on the inbound, trying to go for the steal, collides with Quinn again, so 3 fouls, and then on top of that puts them into the penalties, so Quinn now at the line.
And these are one of the things it just seems like in this game so far, this has been happening to Phoenix. LA has done a great job taking advantage of situations like that.
Here's Taylor outside, finds LaCo Willingham all alone, and that's about 5 layups that Phoenix post players have missed. And now we'll have a jump ball called inside.
I think that is unbelievable. That's very interesting. I've never seen that actually happen where you have 3 people around someone on the inside and no one actually ties up the ball, but they call a jump ball. I think LaCo Willingham's very frustrated right now, and as you can hear, so are the fans here at US Airways Arena.
Controlled by Parker and the Sparks. So we'll see if they elect to run some time off the clock. There's about a 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Leslie outside, tries to throw it over the top of the defense to Parker. And Parker able to knock it off the leg of Willingham before she fell out of bounds. So 15.3 on the game clock, 10 on the shot clock. LA leading 49-34. Thompson being defended by Willingham. Tough turn. Shot no good. Loose ball, scramble forward. Taurasi comes away with it. Final seconds ticking down. Taurasi pull up 3, no good. And that's the way the first half will come to a close. The LA Sparks coming out gunning. And so far so good. LA looking to force a game 3 tomorrow night. Take a halftime lead, 49-34 here in game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. You're watching the 2009 WNBA playoffs on NBA TV.
15-point lead for the Sparks at halftime. Lisa Leslie, once again, Candace Parker was cooking. Lennox came off the bench also and gave them some good minutes for the Sparks. Once Cappie, Pondexter, and Taurasi kind of get going, I do feel like the game will change some, but with them having that slow start, it's going to be a struggle because they need them to really be going offensively. Sparks up 15 at the half.
They can rack up points quickly.
All right, let's get you back out to Phoenix, folks. Calling the second half of action. Kevin Ring, Katie Christensen, enjoy the second half. Andre and Jamaica back with you for the post-game show. We'll see you.
Of the half is that in that last timeout, Phoenix wasn't yelling. They weren't griping at each other. They weren't that kind of passion that, you can see when teams get down like this. So they're staying very composed, and that's something that a veteran team, a team that's tight-knit like Phoenix does.
Phoenix has scored triple digits in 3 straight playoff games as Cappie Pondexter looking to get things going as well. Can't get this shot. Long rebound controlled by Phoenix off of the hands of Candace Parker. So Phoenix can use all the additional shot opportunities they can get here. Shooting just 37% in that first half.
When you saw that great pick by Nicole Willingham, that's something that they do well usually, and they didn't do very well in the first half, is just getting open shots for their teammates.
Here's Taurasi, the only scorer in double figures for Phoenix. Looking at the step back 18-footer in the face of the defender Parker, who looked at the bench and kind of shrugged her shoulders. Not much you can do there.
There's not a lot anybody can do. And, you know, Candace Parker has great size, so it's a great hand to put in Diana's face. But again, doesn't matter who it is. Diana's just looking at the basket. You can put as much pressure as you want. She's going to knock that down.
Since that game one against San Antonio in the semifinals, where she had 15, averaging 27.5 points per game. As Thompson working on the baseline, may have gotten away with a little nudge there, and now we'll have an over the back foul called. And this will be charged against Lisa Leslie. That'll be 3 on Leslie, who's got 16 points to go along with her 3 rebounds.
You know, when you think of halftime, it's about where the teams go back and they look at what changes they can make, but you have to also consider the fact that the head of the officials is here tonight. She had to have gone back, maybe had a few words with the officials as well. It's a tough thing to call a game like this, so, you know, I wouldn't want to be an official.
Taurasi, drive and dish inside. Nicole Willingham, point-blank shot. And how many did we see in that first half? Bonner and Nicole Willingham, between them, I think, missed close to 5 point-blank lay-ins. We'd have a different game had those shots gone down. And Noelle Quinn apparently forgot where she had stopped that pivot foot. So back-to-back turnovers here against LA. And Phoenix sensing a little momentum, as are the fans. 49-38, the lead 11 for the Sparks. Had ballooned to 20 in the first half. Here's Smith just inside that three-point arc. Rattles around, won't go down. Smith with just 4 points in the first half. That Phoenix bench, which has been so productive throughout the regular season and the playoffs, very quiet in that first half as well. Here's Parker working on the baseline left. Here's Thompson, that high arching three-point shot. And Tina Thompson from way outside.
Well, and as Tina has gotten along in her career, she's been playing for a long time. As you see Diana miss another open layup, which we talked about earlier, they're having some problems with. But Tina is less of a banger now, and she does kind of float out to the three-point line. You see her out there right now. You have to expect that you know where she is all the time.
And now we're going to have another foul called on Leslie. That'll be 4 on Lisa Leslie.
And finally, the fans feel like they have something to cheer about when it comes to the official category.
52-38 as Johnson brings it up into the front court. Johnson yet to score. The 2005 Rookie of the Year. Here's Taurasi, pull up, bounce pass inside Willingham. Back out to Johnson, open for 3, leaves it short. Can she get the home roll? No. Leslie on the rebound. Parker perhaps with an extra step. We approach the 7-minute mark here in this third quarter. 52-38. LA trying to force a game 3 that will be played tomorrow night here in Phoenix. Here's Candace Parker eyeballing the 3. Shot no good. Taurasi with the rebound. And in trying to knock it off of the leg of Milton Jones, stepping on the inline, says the baseline official, Roy Gilbayan. So LA gets the basketball back with 6:54 to play here in the third, leading 52-38. Jones against a smaller Pondexter. And missing the point-blank shot there, and Milton Jones going down hard and still not up. Taurasi finds Willingham all alone. Can't get the shot to go. Milton Jones, who never got back on defense, will get the foul called here.
I think it's really, if you look at it tonight, what's going wrong, they're going to look back and see all the shots they missed. Regardless of if they come back from this deficit, Phoenix really needs to get their heads up. They're missing a lot of layups right now. You might even want to gather yourself on the fast break. There's going to be someone flying at you all the time. They need to, because it's not just one person. It goes up and down the roster. So they need to really, as a team, make sure that they gather themselves, take their time, and value each possession.
really uncharacteristic. You could understand it if it was a young team like, say, in Atlanta, playing against a Detroit. But to see this Phoenix team, I haven't seen them miss this many point-blank shots over the span of 10 games during the regular season.
And we've seen it's been everyone. It's been Diana, Nicole. You saw in the first half, Cappie, Penny, Dewanna miss. It's everyone right now. So, again, they have to focus as a team and value each possession. That's what it comes down to.
Well, they'd had the lead down to 11. And now we'll get a whistle and a foul. And this is going to be against Lisa Leslie. So 3 fouls in the span of about 3.5 minutes. And Lisa Leslie will pick up her 5th. When we go back to that first half, if you're just joining us, Lisa Leslie and Donna Taurasi having a little physical exchange and verbal exchange. And it was Candace Parker who, as you pointed out, came over to the veteran Leslie and said, you just need to calm down. Collect your thoughts here.
Exactly, and I think a lot of times what happens with that, with emotional players, as Cappie goes left to the basket, gets to the line, which they need to do, what happens with emotional players is that they can pick up a silly foul or something can happen or there's a foul that's not called, and it's kind of like a trickle-down effect where they get upset, they get angry, and then they're baited into these little fouls, and that's a really interesting kind of development to have Lisa Leslie on the bench at 6 minutes in the third quarter with 5 fouls.
Well, if you're taking notes at home, write down that time mark and the score. 54-38 when she went out as Pondexter knocking down the first of 2. Another terrific crowd on hand here at the U.S. Airways Center. The legend himself, Muhammad Ali, the greatest, sitting over in the baseline seats. And Grant Hill, Amari Stoudemire, all members of the Phoenix Suns. Former son Eddie Johnson in attendance. Noelle Quinn lost the handle into the hands of Tamika Johnson. Pondexter finds Tangela Smith trailing on the play, who cashes in for the easy lay-in. And the lead been trimmed to 12.
They did a really good job of taking their time on the fast break and being patient. Cappie could have broke that down, tried to go one-on-one right there, but she waited for Tangela to catch up with her. That was, again, a focused layup, put it right in.
Well, important also because it kind of gets this crowd back into it. Here's Parker. Lost the handle. Gets inside. Left-hand runner. Boy, it looked like she never had complete control, yet she still got it to go down. 17 points for Parker as Pondexter loses control. Willingham recovers. Out to Smith. Open for 3. Got it.
I think one of the changes right now, there's still so many calls that are not being made out on both ends of the courts between both teams. And I think what Phoenix is doing right now is they've quit griping, they've quit complaining about it, and they're playing through it, and they're doing what they need to do.
Here's Buddy Lennox, who's been called upon with Leslie on the bench with 5. Parker going to work against Tangela Smith. Goes across the lane, left hand, off the mark. Rebound, Taurasi. Finds Pondexter right wing. She'll take a look at the long 3. No good. But LaCo Willingham fighting for that extra possession, and they'll get it. Nice hustle there by LaCo Willingham.
Really, Kevin, it comes down to the little things. Rebounding, sending people to the basket, setting good screens, finding the open person. These are all changes that Phoenix has made in the second half.
Smith again for 3 out of the far corner. Tangela Smith, back-to-back trios. And this team suddenly has their swagger back. And Michael Cooper is going to call a timeout with 4:29 to play here in the third. A full timeout. Phoenix on the move. LA still maintaining that lead, though, on top, 56-47. You're watching the 2009. We'll tip it off at 10 p.m. Eastern. All happening here on NBA TV. Out of the timeout, Buddy Lennox with a big shot as Tamika Johnson trying to get inside.
Saw Tamika on that last defensive play try to split through both her player and the post player that was on the block and try to shoot through that gap. With a shooter like Betty Lennox, you need to follow. You need to lock onto her hip whenever there's a down screen and follow her around, or else she's going to get wide open shots like that.
Well, Lennox, while her play has been a little up and down this season, averaged just over 10 points per game, 4.5 rebounds. What a very capable and explosive scorer. She has garnered the nickname from her earlier playing days of Betty Big Buckets because you go back to the 2004
Kind of like Big
finals.
Shot Bob.
That's exactly right. She captured the MVP, helping Seattle to their one and only WNBA crown.
Well, and Betty is such a capable shooter. She might be streaky, but it's one of those things. If she knocks 2 down, you have to lock up on her for the rest of the night.
Here's Taurasi. Can't get that 3 to fall. Willingham battling, but it's Lennox who secures it for LA. 58-47. Milton Jones calling for it inside. Now facing up on Smith on the pump fake. Gets across. Leaner no good. And knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Phoenix, they say. Well, if you're just tuning in, LA built a 20-point first half lead. They led by 15 at halftime. And Lisa Leslie, who was dominating in the paint with 16 points, picked up 3 quick fouls in the third quarter here in a span of about 3 minutes. And she is now a spectator over there by Michael Cooper. Here's Milton Jones with a much smaller Johnson. Quick ball reversal. Lennox finds herself wide open. Shot won't go, though.
You see Phoenix doing a much better job making sure they're sending multiple rebounders to the defensive end of the court, and you're seeing the result of it on the offensive end.
Pondexter got inside, got some contact, but no whistle as Tina Thompson able to pull down the rebound for the Sparks. Well, I've got to believe Michael Cooper sees these last 3 minutes of the third quarter as critical for his team's success here tonight. Lennox trying to get inside against the rookie Dewanna Bonner and somehow managed to get it up and over the long arms and off the glass, and the shot goes down. Pondexter just 9 points on 2 of 7 shooting. Bonner inside and won't miss another one. Missed 3 gimmies in the first half, but takes a pretty feed there. And Bonner now with 6 off the bench in her 10 minutes of play.
And it's great to see that her teammates have the confidence to keep going to her down there. She did miss a few in the first half. But again, this is a rookie that has played so well and gotten so much court time this year that they're very comfortable with her out there.
Milton Jones bottled up in the baseline by Penny Taylor. Forced into a tough shot, and Parker tried to grab the rebound. Unable to hang on, so Phoenix with the ball. 2:15 to play here in the third quarter as Keisha Soignier will check in. Well, I think everybody that walked into the arena tonight anticipated a slugfest, but I don't think they knew just how accurate that would be.
In honor of Muhammad Ali sitting, courtside tonight, this is more his speed of a game, right?
Taylor with a leaner inside, just left it short. Nicely defended that time by Milton Jones. Here's Lennox, cut off there on the baseline by Pondexter. Bounce pass, feed across, lost the handle. Lennox turns to shoot it up. Parker with another offensive rebound. That won't go, but she'll be fouled. And Candace Parker will find herself at the line to shoot 2. Tangela Smith picks up the foul.
You have to think back to the first half of the game, Kevin, where there was that possession where Chrissy Harrower penetrated in off the high pick and roll at the end of the quarter and had a wide open left-hand layup. Right there on that penetration, there were 3 Mercury players in help side. They have made some defensive adjustments coming out from halftime. Their aggression level has picked up. They're not on their heels like they were in the second half, and they're making a legitimate run right now, but they need to, again, maintain the boards.
Parker putting together a spectacular night here in game 2. 18 points, 15 rebounds, and we still have a quarter to play.
And she has come so far. Even, it's a little different than last year, how she's playing this year in the sense that they don't use her so much facing up to the basket, not as much handling the ball. They're using her a lot in the low post, and against a team like Phoenix, they should, because she has a definite size advantage. But she is so comfortable out there and has become a vocal leader for LA and only in her second year.
62-49. Pondexter goes to work against Harewood. Tough baseline pull-up, missing that one badly. And the tough shooting night continues for Cappie Pondexter. Had 15 in game 1. 9 points. Does have 5 rebounds, though. Remember the All-WNBA first team as she and Donna Taurasi were recognized before tip-off tonight. Lennox looks for the 3. Karam's high. Taylor clears. Smith back to Taylor. Those two Had a great connection back in 2007 when the Mercury capturing the crown. Pondexter getting loose inside, but can't get the finish. She will pick up the foul. And Cappie Pondexter will be at the line to shoot 2. She has 5 of 6 on the night from the charity stripe. Phoenix just 7 of 9. LA a perfect 12 of 12.
Well, and Cappie really is the only one that has gotten to the free throw line tonight. And when her shot's not falling like it isn't tonight, what she does well is she finds a way to score in other ways, whether it's her getting to the free throw line or getting her teammates involved or grabbing boards. She's one of those players that understands that if you have an off night, there's multiple other ways that you can get involved.
Knocks down the first. Each team with 3 scores in double figures. Candace Parker leading all scores with 19. 16 from Leslie, 11 from Tina Thompson, coming off that career playoff high 25 in game 1 on Wednesday night. For Phoenix, 11 apiece from Pondexter and Smith, 15 from Taurasi, who is currently over on the bench. Just under a minute to play here in the third quarter. LA on top, 62-51. Lennox trying to shake free. Finding Thompson, wide open for 3. No good. Bonner mistiming her jump. Parker on the follow, in traffic. And now Parker with a frustration foul as she came over the shoulder of Penny Taylor. And that'll be 3 personal fouls on Candace Parker. And more importantly, that will put LA into the penalty with 37.5 to play here in the third quarter. So big opportunity here, almost like an extra possession based on the time on the clock, Katie.
Exactly, and you know what? Phoenix got very lucky because back on that on their defensive possession down there, Dewanna Bonner switched when Betty Lennox came off that screen on the wing with Tina Thompson. They're not supposed to switch that. That's why Tina Thompson had a clean look at the basket, a 3, which she's very good at shooting. You never want to leave her open. They got lucky there that A, she didn't score, but they ended up getting the rebound, and they're, coming down and having a shot at free throws at the end of the quarter.
Rare miss from the stripe by Penny Taylor as she gets 1 of 2. Seems like we've said that a lot tonight. Rare misses.
Yeah.
62-52, 10-point game. LA with the lead, and now we get a bumping foul called outside. Phoenix has never led in this one. Trailed by as many as 20. 4th team foul on Phoenix. 31 on the game clock, 18 on the shot clock as Christy Harrow has come in once again to try to close out a quarter here for Michael Cooper's Sparks team. Harrow, of course, one-time member of the Phoenix Mercury. Soigné going for the steal. Leaves Parker all alone, won't go. Milton Jones on the follow, that one will. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Here's Pondexter, goes to work against Lennox. Inside, off the glass, too strong. Tapped out, Milton Jones recovers. And that's the way the third quarter will come to a close. Well, Phoenix making a run, but LA seems to have survived it. Lisa Leslie on the bench with 5 fouls. But LA will take a lead to the fourth quarter here in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. LA 64, Phoenix 52. You're watching the 2009 WNBA playoffs on NBA TV.
Definitely the quarter of the role players for the Sparks. Betty Lennox came in, made some huge threes when Diana Taurasi was trying to impose her will in the game. Tina Thompson came in. Obviously, showed her playoff experience, made some huge threes as well. Delisha Milton Jones with some cleanup. And I thought they were able to kind of help the Sparks maintain that third quarter lead. And Phoenix couldn't really close that deficit.
64-52 our score here in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. As we head to the fourth quarter, Kevin Ray, Katie Christensen. Phoenix outscoring LA in that quarter. The first quarter they won tonight, 18-15, Katie.
Yeah, but it's amazing still to see that the Mercury scored 17 in each of the first 2 quarters, only 18 in that quarter, even though they outscored them. They have some serious ground to make up. They've been down by 20. But I think the interesting thing is going to be this fourth quarter right now when Phoenix usually puts teams away because they get tired. And Lisa Leslie's been in foul trouble. She got her 5th foul about the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. They've played just 7 people tonight, and Christy Harrower has only played 5 minutes of the game. So it makes me wonder with Tina Thompson and Candace Parker, Delisha Milton that have logged all these big minutes. How are they going to feel in the fourth quarter? Phoenix still is used to this tempo, and this is where they can make a run.
LA trying to force a Game 3 that will be played tomorrow night. We know tomorrow night on NBA TV it'll be Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Detroit Shock and the Indiana Fever. The winner heading off to the WNBA Finals. All the action beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if we do have a Game 3 here in Phoenix, we will tip it off at 10 p.m. Eastern. It all happens right here on NBA TV. So here we go, fourth quarter from the U.S. Airways Center in downtown Phoenix. Lennox, quick look at the three. Misfiring, and Dewanna Bonner pulls down the rebound as Cappie Pondexter, the only starter to begin the quarter for the Phoenix Mercury. Though having Penny Taylor, the luxury of a starter like. Pondexter trying to get on track, looking to feed it to Oldie, who was trying to box out Lisa Leslie, and it's been a tough night for Cappie Pondexter.
It has, and she's tried to do it in a lot of different ways. Her shot's not falling from outside, so she's penetrating. She's not hitting the normal little chippies and the runners that she hits inside. Has kind of missed a few shots from the free throw line, which is not something you expect from her either. But again, you have to fight through it. This is the playoffs.
Here's Milton Jones, steps in after the pump fake, knocks down the big 14-footer off the left wing. We'll lead back to 15. Here's Soignier. A late acquisition, just coming days before the regular season tipped off from Connecticut. Former first-round pick by the Sun. Taylor in traffic. Shot won't go. Bonner trying to follow, but had a rip from behind by Tina Thompson. And you'd have to say these first 3 to 4 minutes for Phoenix pretty important. You can't afford to find that lead suddenly back up at 20 again.
Exactly, and it's interesting. Diana Taurasi is about to check into the game. Definitely going to have to respect her outside shot. But what she does for the team, it's one of these situations where normally he starts the fourth quarter and Corey Gaines has his bench players in. He wants to give his starters a little bit of a rest so that they can finish out the fourth quarter. So not going away from what he normally does. He has a lot of faith in this team, and they just have to play it out.
Off the inbound, here's Harrer, right back to Lennox, off the screen, wide open for three. Betty Lennox knocks it down. And the lead back to 18, and Lennox has come off the bench, providing 10. Here's Taurasi. Remember, Lisa Leslie playing with 5 fouls. Long three from Diana Taurasi, and right in the face of Lisa Leslie. And Taurasi now with 18 points, but they'll need more of that. They knocked down 14 trios in game 1 on Win tonight. Tonight a different story, just 5 of 15.
And as you saw right there, they were trying to isolate Diana with Lisa guarding her. Diana wanted to penetrate, try and draw a foul, but Tangela Smith came up to set a screen. A little miscommunication there.
Leslie on the turnaround, shot hung on the iron, couldn't get it to go. Taurasi mistiming her jump, and that's the sequence of events again that Phoenix just has not been able to control tonight.
Well, and that's actually happened a couple times where they've mistimed jumps. The ball has bounced off the backboard in a weird way, and they've mistimed something where they had inside possession. But then there with Diana, again, you have to consider the fact that LA's got such long arms, so big on the outside. You got to be careful with your passes. Johnson's
shot won't go. Tangela Smith trying to grab the rebound, lost the handle, and then kicked it out of bounds. Comes with 7:21 to play here in the fourth quarter. LA on top, 72-55. Candace Parker, after a brief rest, heading back to the scorer's table. Thompson looking far side of the floor now for Milton Jones. Florida Gator, tough runner across the paint. Won't go. Rebound claimed there by Smith, who looks up ahead, finding Taurasi. Pondexter, baseline. Pulls the trigger and knocks it down. And that might be the shot that gets Pondexter going here. The final 6:46. Bonner using those long arms and had the steal, but her momentum just carried her out of bounds as she stepped here on the near sideline. But you could see the length and the athleticism and, more importantly, the speed that Dewanna Bonner brings to the table.
And she's extremely active, and I think that's the most important thing when you have somebody with her quickness, to be able to have her be so active on the back, near the basket, and jump up into those lanes and steal the ball. She's done a great job all year at that. It's anticipation.
Lennox again looks for the long three, no good. Milton Jones, or rather Leslie, on the rebound, and she'll be grabbed and fouled there by Lisa Leslie. Well, the rebounding margin continues to balloon in favor of LA, 40-22. You know, going back there in that third quarter, Phoenix managed to pick up a few points on second chance opportunities. It was 14-4 at the half. They outscored LA 9-4 in that third quarter. Had a lot to do with them beating LA in that quarter, 18-15 scoring wise.
Well, and tonight's game is the exact opposite, really, of Wednesday night's game, where every time LA made a run, Phoenix was able to answer back. It's really LA tonight that got up early, has been able to answer to every single run that Phoenix made. They've maintained their dominance on the boards throughout the game, and really are just going to their bread and butter, going inside, getting it in the paint, and they're getting easy points in there.
Harrell will sit down as Noelle Quinn checks back in. Leslie matching her game one offensive production, looking to top that with a free throw here. And she does. 20 points, 6 rebounds. For the veteran out of USC, looking to hang up her sneakers, but not just yet. Taurasi goes to work with the left hand against Quinn and forced to the floor, and Dinah Taurasi will head to the line to shoot 2 here, 6-17. And Katie, going back to what you said at the top of the broadcast, becomes all the more important now for Phoenix, the top free throw shooting team. While they want to continue to open the floor up, you've got to think about the time on the clock and look at the scoreboard right now.
Exactly. I mean, even though they're getting free throws, it's still slowing down the pace of the game. One of the things that Phoenix really needs to focus on right now is, as soon as they get a rebound on the defensive end of the court, they need to start looking for open people. And when you get down like this, a lot of times, Cappie, Diana, your stud players are going to have to really make some things happen. And that Diana is making it happen, but it's kind of a catch-22 because it's slowing the pace of the game.
74-59. Phoenix has been within 10, but LA has managed to keep them at arm's length. Quick feed inside Leslie to Parker, and nice job by Tangela Smith of sliding over to force the tie-up for the jump ball.
Kevin, in game one, you could really tell in the fourth quarter that Lisa Leslie was tired. She's played a lot of minutes over the span of her career. But I think tonight, because she got those 5 fouls at the start of the second half, it allowed her to sit the third quarter. And so she is fresh and rested going into the fourth quarter tonight, unlike the matchup Wednesday night.
Well, she's playing nearly 8 more minutes per game here in the postseason than she did in the regular season, as we get a jump ball violation, and it'll be charged against Phoenix. And LA with the basketball.
Trying to figure out who the violation was on. I couldn't tell from our angle.
No, well, yes. Okay, for 6 minutes. Yes, that's true.
So now they're trying to figure out the time on the scoreboard. Yeah, back up to 6 minutes.
And of course, a reset on the shot clock to 14, where it had ticked down to 7. Now, Lennox to inbound. Lennox has hit some big shots here in this second half. Thompson, quick pass inside to Leslie on the turnaround. Left that one short as Tangela Smith may have gotten a piece of it, but on the save by Lennox to Parker on the shot, and she will be fouled. And just the hustle plays right now. And right now, Buddy Lennox is making all the hustle plays for LA.
Well, it seems that everything tonight has fallen kind of into LA's hands, and they've been working hard for it, but they're getting all the bounces. That was a great job by Diana to grab that board, but she was falling out of bounds. Happened to be picked up by Candace Parker. That's a tough play.
5:45 to play here in the fourth quarter. LA trying to force a game 3 tomorrow night here in Phoenix. They're on top right now, 74-59. You're watching the 2009 WNBA playoffs on NBA TV and WN459. Our score here. Glad you could join us tonight from the U.S. Airways Center. It's Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. LA trying to force a Game 3 that would be played tomorrow night right here on NBA TV. Be sure and tune in tomorrow night 7 o'clock Eastern, as the Detroit Shock and Indiana Fever will face off for Game 3. The winner advancing to the WNBA Finals. And if we have a game in the regular season, they've upped that to 100 points per game in their 4 playoff contests. They had 103 against LA in Game 1. What has happened tonight? 59 here with just under 6 minutes to play. They had 53 at halftime in Game 1.
Well, they're not shooting well from the floor. Right now they're shooting about 38% from the floor, which is far below their average. But you have to understand that LA's made it very difficult for them tonight. They've not gotten open looks that they're used to. Penetrations are they're clogging the lane, making it difficult. LA's done a very good job defensively, but Phoenix has not shot the ball well, limited their shot attempts.
Well, and indicative of the night for the entire team, Cappie Pondexter with a wide open 3, missed it. And she is now 3 of 11 on the night as Candace Parker turns it over.
Well, and we talked at the top of the broadcast about bench points, and so far tonight it's 11-12 in favor of LA, and Penny Taylor herself only 1 of 8 from the floor with 3 points, and this is somebody that they rely on for a lot of production and has been playing very well in the playoffs.
Here's Smith out top of the key, looks for Taylor. Taylor gets it on the floor, gets inside. Won't get the shot to go down, but will find herself at the line shooting 2 with 4:59 to play. A 16-point deficit right now.
Well, and throughout Penny's career, she's lived at the free throw line, and this is only her second trip to the free throw line tonight. Again, she's doing all the right things. She's penetrating to the basket. She's being aggressive. She's getting fouled in there, getting bumped, but so is everybody else. They're not calling every little bump. This is the playoffs. They're not going to, but she's done a really good job at least staying aggressive. It's kind of the whole team tonight. Shots not falling. As you see her miss a free throw, she's a high 80s, and I want to say 88% free throw shooter. And so tonight, everything about the Mercury's offense production is uncharacteristic.
Taylor during the regular season averaging just over 10 points per game, almost 2.5 rebounds and 20 minutes per game. But as we've seen her do in 2007, her play in the postseason improves. Pondexter on the steal. Won't miss that easy lay-in opportunity. And it's 75-62. These fans haven't given up.
And really, there's plenty of time left in this game to surpass a 13-point lead.
Tina Thompson, long 3. Karam's long to Pondexter. Looking up ahead to Taylor. Taylor all alone. Right hand reverse. Got it. And back-to-back hoops. And the lead now 11 for LA. And a foul in the backcourt. That'll be charged on Dinah Taurasi. And that will be 5 on Taurasi, who's got 20 points to go along with her 5 rebounds and 3 assists. So Taurasi with 5 and Lisa Leslie with 5.
Well, and you have to be careful right here because they made a quick little run, got 2 possessions where they scored, got some stops, strung together some stops, and then you foul. Diana's got 5. She can't pick up another one. But again, they're stopping the flow of the game. And
more importantly, 14 fouls for Phoenix. So the next one will put them into the penalty. Leslie calls for it deep into the post, and a travel on Leslie, who found herself surrounded by 3 Mercury defenders.
Very, very good job by Phoenix to have a heads up there. You know they're going to go into their stud post player. Lisa Leslie's proven herself tonight, very aggressive down there, but they collapsed on her so quickly.
Now Phoenix with a chance to cut the lead to single digits. Pondexter inside, got the shot, collects the foul, and she'll be at the line looking to make this an 8-point game with 3:59 to play.
Well, and as you're going to see right now, Phoenix did such a good job of setting a screen that I'm not sure who it was because we had Coach Gaines standing in front of us, but someone set a screen for Cappie to have that wide open layup, nailed it, going to the free throw line. And she loves going to her left.
Lennox coming over talking to Michael Cooper saying, what do you want me to do there? Crowd falls silent. 75-67. And perhaps the wheels are starting to turn on LA now a bit. Lennox, who has provided a big spark off the bench. She's got 10 points, 5 rebounds as well. Looks for the three, outside, Lennox. That is why they call her Betty Big Buckets. There was none bigger than that one there. Taylor right back, but Parker with the rejection from behind.
We talked about it earlier, Betty being a very streaky shooter, but once she gets going, it's very hard to stop her. She only had 4 points in the game on Wednesday. She's been a huge factor here tonight.
Taylor on the inbound to Taurasi, drops it off to Willingham, wasn't expecting. Taylor trying to save it, but it goes into the hands of Thompson instead. And now we'll get a reach-in foul called on Cappie Pondexter as Pondexter and Lennox is changing a few words.
Very, very crucial right now for them to maintain their heads. I know it's getting a little touchy-grabby out there. It's been that way throughout the entire game, but Dee and Cappie both need to be careful because for them to make a run, this final 3 minutes, they need to be in the game.
Free throws coming up when we return. Timeout on the floor. 3:22 to play here in the fourth quarter. Phoenix trying to rally. LA looking to hold them off for a game 3 tomorrow night. You're watching the 2009 WNBA.
The physicality of tonight's game, that's going to be an interesting game. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Detroit is one of the most physical teams in the league on a consistent basis year in and year out. And Indiana, Tamika Catchings has such a tough attitude about her that just kind of reverberates through her entire team. That's going to be a battle.
Buddy Lennox with the 2 free throws, and she has put the clutch performance together tonight. 15 points, 5 rebounds off the LA bench. Here's Penny Taylor. Talented Aussie with a tough shooting night, just 2 of 10, like so many of her other teammates. Taurasi trying to get back door, and the feed from Willingham high.
Little miscommunication there. Nicole thought Dee was going to flare out for an open 3. Would have been open, but you know she's been going to the line tonight, trying to get her points inside.
Taurasi with 20 points to lead Phoenix. 7 of 14 from the field. Well below their scoring average, regular season and postseason alike. Milton Jones cut up on the baseline to Leslie. Shovel pass inside Parker. Easy left-hand leaner there from Candace Parker. The lead back to 15, and time beginning to run out here on Phoenix here in game 2. Smith looks at the 3. Late night banking here in downtown Phoenix.
Oh my goodness. You know what though? It counts all the same. 3 is 3.
Under 2.5 to play. Milton Jones out of the far corner. Leslie thought about the 3 and said she'll send it to her teammate Thompson. Got a 5 on a shot clock. Lennox floater in the lane, and Buddy Lennox has it all going tonight.
That was a very smart choice by Lisa Leslie. She had the open shot. She's knocked him down tonight and in the first game, but she decided to use the clock.
Taurasi on the drive and scoop. Missed it all. And Parker will rebound, and Phoenix, I think, has resigned themselves to the thought of being back here on their home floor tomorrow night as Milton Jones can control. So let's look ahead to game 3 with 1:40 left here in this one, 84-70. Sparks on top. You had mentioned the minutes being played by LA, not just tonight, but in these playoffs in general. Big minutes. No difference tonight other than Leslie sitting down with those 5 fouls. But what kind of a carryover effect will we see because it's a back-to-back situation now?
It's exactly in Phoenix's favor. You make a very good point there as you see Diana still going into the basket hard. But the interesting thing is that we mentioned earlier he's really shortened his bench. He's playing 2 people off the bench. Was playing Shannon Bobbitt a little bit here and there. She didn't even get in the game tonight. But that's going to be very difficult for this team of veterans, and they played a lot of minutes in their career. Tangela gets a little reach-in foul there, sends Lisa to the line. But, you know, I think that Phoenix is going to bounce back very well. They've played this style, this tempo. Talked about it earlier with the coaching staff, looking ahead to if there would be a game 3. They definitely thought that it would be in their favor with it being a back-to-back.
Well, and certainly it was in their favor against San Antonio. They lost the opener in the conference semifinals to San Antonio, came back 1-2 straight here on the home floor. then went into L.A., won at Pauley Pavilion in game 1 there. And because it's such a short series, it's very hard to read. I mean, Phoenix has been a good road team all year long, but even better here at home. And I think sometimes when you get that first road win, people just chalk up the first game back at home as a W. But back to your point, L.A. is such a veteran-tested club, and with the emotion riding behind Lisa Leslie and her retirement at the end of the season, you've got to know that's going to play a factor.
Exactly, and Phoenix is not at all a grind-you-out team. They're not going to slow it down. They're going to run the pace. And in a series that is as short as the WNBA playoffs are, that can be bad. If you have one off night shooting, it's really putting you in a difficult situation. So, again, the style helps them a lot, but sometimes it can play against them.
Pondexter with a look at the three. Won't go down. Taylor with the offensive board. Taurasi wide open. Left of the key, and Taurasi strikes for another deep bomb. 25 now for Taurasi, who has not let up after 28 in game 1. Here's Parker, 22 and 18. She'll be fouled by Taurasi, and that'll be it for number 3. And she'll start getting her rest a little earlier than the rest of her teammates. 84-75.
A lot of the players, every player on every team at this point in the playoffs is playing through some injuries for sure. But it's amazing how many little ticky-tacky injuries Phoenix has right now. I think there's 4 players with either broken or dislocated fingers, which every time you touch the ball, every time you catch it, dribble, you feel that. I talked to Diana a few days ago and asked her how she was feeling. She said, I'm really, really tired. And it's what every player, I'm sure, is feeling right now at this point in the playoffs.
Parker knocks down the free throw. 7 of 8 on the night for Candace Parker. 35 seconds remaining, so be sure and tune in. A doubleheader coming your way tomorrow night right here on NBA TV. And both of them series-clinching games. Indiana Phoenix with the 2 best records in the regular season. Well, that proved to be the case as they play game 3 at home tomorrow. We'll get a loose ball foul called there. And that stops the clock with 26.3. Fever and Shock will get underway tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock Eastern. And game 3 here between Phoenix and LA from the U.S. Airways Center, tipping off at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on NBA TV.
I want to say this is the first time that I've seen Corey Gaines sit down tonight, despite being down, even up till, 10, 15 seconds ago, calling for the full court press, extending the pressure, trying to get any kind of activity out of his team, and he needs it. He needs it, even though they're down, he needs to do this so that he can carry it over into tomorrow.
Well, the question is, will these fans be able to carry it over tomorrow? They expended a lot of energy tonight here.
These are some of the greatest fans in the WNBA, and that they're going to come out in numbers tomorrow night, and hopefully everyone out there brings a friend with them.
Final 15 seconds ticking off. Taylor finding Pondexter, still looking for that three-point shot to go down tonight. And Pondexter still fighting for every loose ball as the final 5 seconds. Pondexter on the drive. She'll have her shot blocked, but she'll pick up a foul. It says a lot about the character of Cappie Pondexter. They could have easily just kind of dribbled it away, but instead she went right at Candace Parker and Delisha Milton Jones, and she collected a hard foul, and Parker slow to get up. That's one of those maybe subtle reminders of we'll be back here tomorrow night.
Exactly. It makes you kind of catch your breath there for a second, because it would be a terrible situation. He's got, his starters in right now at this point in the game, game out of hand. You don't want anyone ever to get injured, and that's something that, that's in Cappie's head. She is one of those players that's never going to think about that. She's going to go hard to the rim every time, and you saw it right there. Scared maybe some other people a little bit, little kind of gasp of your breath.
He'll inbound it. This one is complete. 87-76 our final. Game 3 tomorrow night here, the same place, same time, the same two teams. The winner to advance to the WNBA Finals. Be sure and join us. We'll tip it off at 7 p.m. Eastern with Indiana, Detroit, 10 p.m. Eastern, Phoenix, LA. For Katie Christensen, I'm Kevin Ray. Once again, our final 87-76 the final. For complete playoff coverage of tonight's action, be sure and log on to WNBA.com. We send you back to our studios. Good night from Phoenix.
Big win for the Sparks as they tied the series and took it back to LA for Game 3. Obviously, they would lose the series in 3 games, but they really, really battled and showed some heart this game. Candace ended with 24 and 18. Lisa had 20 and 6. Taurasi had 25. Cappie wasn't herself, but she came back in Game 3 with a vengeance. So thanks for watching the video. Be ready for the next.